Moonshine, right? That's what we're looking at. And we are using moonshine as our example for comparing our marginal cost of capital to our investment opportunity schedule, okay? So we have a still, and we have the given marginal cost of capital and investment opportunity set, okay? So the marginal cost of capital is given. Remember, it is going up because we borrow at the lowest cost first, right? And then as we borrow more, our cost of capital tends to rise because we become higher risk. Okay, then we have our investment opportunity schedule, which is that one down on the lower graph. And so that one there is showing us our investment opportunity. So our highest return here was going to be the our highest return is going to be the sign, right? And then the next highest was going to be the graphic designer, right? And then we prioritize them as they are. Okay, so what we have here is that we have our cost of capital and we have our investment opportunity schedule. What do you think we're going to do next? Of course, we are going to combine them. So we take this first graph and we trace it down onto the second graph. Okay, so we're going to have this going across from 4% up to, right, that is at 20,000. Okay, and then it's going to go up to 8%. Okay. And it's going to be at 8% up until $32,000. Okay. And then it's going to go up to $9,000 up until $95,000. Okay. And then we're going up to 12%. Right, on forever. Okay, so when we do this, it's very similar to the way we would do a supply and demand framework. Where do we determine our price and quantity on supply and demand? It is where those two graphs cross, okay? These two graphs cross at this point right here. Granted, it's a little bit wider because they're two flat lines, but basically that is the point at which we stop getting projects done. So here what we would do is would we do project one, okay? So would we do project one, right, which is that sign. All right, so the project one has a return of 15% and it has an interest rate of 4%. Are we going to do this? Yes, our return is higher than the interest rate that we're getting. So 15% is greater than the 4%. Okay, so yes, check. One is going to get done. What about number two? That was higher in the graphic designer. Okay, the graphic designer has a return of 11%. Is this one going to get funded? Right, so we look at this, it has a return of 11%. And it is above what our cost of capital is here, right? So the interest rate we're paying is 8%. Granted, we're paying $8,000 of that is at 4%, and then the rest of the $7,000 is at 8%. Regardless, the rate of return is higher than the interest rate that we're paying. So check, this one's going to get done. Now number three, okay? Number three was the new still. Number three has a return of 9%. What is our interest rate that we're paying? Well, for a $5,000 of it, we are going to be paying at 8%, and then at the next $60,000, okay, is going to be at 9%. The return is greater than the cost here, right? Is our return is greater than the cost because of this amount right here. So number three is going to get done. Number three is going to be questionable because there isn't a whole lot of barrier there, but number three is going to get done. What about number four? Number four was the new bottling line, okay? The new bottling line is going to be coming over here. The bottling line has a return of 7%, and the interest rate we're going to be paying on that is 12%. Are we going to do that one? No, we're not going to do that one, right? Because the rate of return is not higher than our interest rate, okay? And so that means that's actually going to cost us money. We're going to lose money if we do that, okay? So that's what we're looking at here. The important part to remember is that when the rate of return on that investment is higher than my cost of capital, I can do that project. But if my cost of capital, right, is greater than my return, right, I have to pay more to get the capital than I'm actually going to return. That's going to lose money, and I'm not going to do that. That is a bare minimum, okay? This point right here where they cross, that we can think of that as being the bare minimum. right? That's the bare minimum to do it. And then we look at the difference, right, between the return and the interest rate. And then that's going to tell us, is this worth it or not? Is that enough compensation for our risk? Okay, so that's how we put together our marginal cost of capital and the investment opportunity schedule. We can use this, right, so that, remember, the marginal cost of capital is determined from the weighted average cost of capital from the WACC. And we use all of this to compare it to MPV and IRR and determine if these are the things that we're going to be doing. Okay?